Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive with us. This time we're taking a look at a mystery that's had people talking for decades. It's the wow signal. A strong narrowband radio signal picked up by the Big Ear telescope way back in 1977.
Oh, yeah, I remember hearing about that.
Yeah, and it was astronomer Jerry Eman who first noticed it. He was looking over the data from the telescope and saw this anomaly, and, well, he wrote, wow, right there on the printout.
He did?
He did.
Wow, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, and it really captures the reaction that people have had to it ever since. It's 72 seconds long and seems to have come from somewhere near the constellation Sagittarius. But here's the thing. No one has ever heard it again.
So what could it have been?
Well, that's what we're here to dive into. What are the theories? What does the evidence say? And why does this signal from almost 50 years ago still have such a hold on us?
It really is fascinating how one little blip on a radar screen can capture the imagination like that.
It is. So let's start with the most obvious theory. What if the wow signal was an attempt at alien communication?
It's certainly a possibility. I mean, think about it. The signal's characteristics, the narrow bandwidth, the strength, the fact that it came from deep space, it all seems like it could have been deliberate, you know?
Like someone out there was trying to say hello.
Exactly.
It really taps into that deep-seated human need to know if we're alone in the universe, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And let's be real, the idea of aliens trying to reach out to us is thrilling. It's the stuff of science fiction, but, it could be science fact.
But before we get too carried away with, spaceships and little green men, maybe we should consider some other possibilities too.
Right, of course. There are always other explanations.
So what else could it have been?
Well, there's a theory that it was some kind of secret government project.
Yeah.
Maybe a test of some advanced technology that went wrong somehow.
Ah, the old government cover-up theory.
Yeah, exactly. This one tends to come up a lot whenever there's something unexplained, especially when it comes to space. People point to all the secrecy surrounding space exploration and military activities as evidence that something's being hidden.
I can see why people would think that way. But even if there were secret projects going on, wouldn't a signal as strong as the wow signal have left other traces?
It's a good point. It seems like someone somewhere would have noticed something else unusual.
Right. Plus, it's important to remember that just because something happens during a time of secrecy doesn't mean it's a result of that secrecy.
That's true. We have to be careful not to jump to conclusions.
So if it wasn't aliens and it wasn't a secret government project, what else could it have been?
Well, for a while, there was a theory that the wow signal could have been caused by cometary hydrogen clouds.
Oh, yeah. I remember hearing about that. Whatever happened to that theory?
Well, it turned out to be a dead end, unfortunately. Further research showed that those kinds of clouds don't really produce signals that match the characteristics of the wow signal.
So it was a good attempt at a natural explanation, but it just didn't pan out.
Right. It just didn't hold up under scrutiny.
So we're back to square one. We've got this signal that seems like it could be artificial, but we haven't been able to explain it. And the biggest mystery of all is, why haven't we heard it again?
Yeah, that's the real head scratcher. If it were aliens trying to reach out, wouldn't they send more than one message?
It'd be like calling someone and letting the phone ring once and then hanging up. Wouldn't you at least leave a voicemail?
Exactly. It does seem strange. But there are a few possibilities we could consider.
Okay, like what?
Well, maybe it was a one-time event. Maybe it was a sort of cosmic hello and they didn't feel the need to repeat it.
Interesting.
Or maybe Earth was just briefly aligned with the signal's path, like we just happened to be in the right place at the right time to catch a glimpse of it.
Okay, I can see that.
And we also have to remember that the Big Ear telescope, which detected the signal, was stationary. And it had a limited field of view. So even if the signal is repeated, there's a chance the telescope just missed it.
That makes sense. But then there's SETI, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. They've been listening for signals from space for years. Wouldn't they have picked up something by now if it were out there?
Well, SETI's work is incredibly important, and they've been doing amazing work scouring the skies for decades. But so far, they haven't found anything conclusive.
So the wow signal remains a mystery.
It does. But the universe is vast, and the wow signal shows us that unusual things can happen. So maybe it's just a matter of time before we catch another glimpse of something extraordinary.
I like the way you think. So we've got this signal that seems like it could be artificial, but we haven't been able to explain it or find it again. It's a real head scratcher. And in the next part of our deep dive, we'll take a look at why this one blip on a radar screen from almost 50 years ago still has such a hold on us. We'll explore the psychological and sociological factors that contribute to our fascination with the wow signal, And we'll talk about the dangers of misinformation and the erosion of trust in scientific institutions. So stay tuned.
Looking forward to it.
It's pretty amazing, isn't it? We're talking about a signal that lasted for just 72 seconds. And yet, it sparked all this research and speculation and debate for decades.
It really is remarkable.
What I find so interesting is why this one little blip on a radar screen from almost 50 years ago still has such a hold on us. What do you think it is about the wow signal that continues to fascinate people?
Well, I think it speaks to something very fundamental about human nature, that deep-seated need we have to understand our place in the universe.
Like, are we alone out here, or is there someone else out there?
Exactly, and the wow signal, even without any confirmation of its origin, forces us to confront that possibility that we're not alone.
It's like staring into this vast, dark ocean and seeing a single flash of light.
Yeah.
You can't help but wonder what else might be lurking down there.
I love that analogy. It really captures the sense of mystery and wonder that surrounds the wow signal.
And that sense of wonder, that curiosity about the unknown, it's such a powerful driving force, isn't it? It's what pushes us to explore, to ask questions, to keep searching for answers even when they seem elusive.
I couldn't agree more. And the wow signal is a perfect example of that. It's a mystery that keeps us looking up, keeps us dreaming.
And let's be honest, part of what makes it so intriguing is the fact that it's an unsolved mystery. We love a good puzzle, don't we?
We do. It's like a cosmic detective story. We have this one tantalizing clue, but we're still trying to piece together the rest of the evidence.
And the wow signal doesn't just raise questions about science and technology. It also taps into some deeper psychological and sociological currents.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, for instance, the government conspiracy theories.
Right. The idea that the truth about the wow signal is being hidden from us.
I know it sounds like something out of a science fiction movie,
Yeah.
but it's a persistent belief, isn't it?
It is. And I think it speaks to a certain distrust of authority that runs deep in some segments of society.
Like the idea that powerful institutions, governments, the military, even scientific organizations are keeping secrets from the public.
Exactly.
And that distrust is amplified when it comes to space, isn't it? There's always been an air of secrecy around space exploration, especially during the Cold War era when there was so much competition and paranoia between the superpowers.
That's true. And that historical context definitely adds fuel to the conspiracy theories. People see the wow signal as fitting into a larger pattern of cover-ups and hidden agendas.
It becomes a symbol of everything that's unknown and potentially threatening about the world around us.
Right.
But wouldn't a cover-up of that magnitude be incredibly difficult to pull off?
You'd think so. You'd think someone would have talked by now.
Leaks happen. Whistleblowers come forward. That's the reality of how these things usually play out.
That's a good point. But it doesn't seem to stop people from believing in these theories.
I guess for some people, the story itself is more appealing than the facts.
I think you're right. Even if the facts are more reassuring, people crave a sense of order of explanation, even if that explanation involves shadowy figures and hidden truths.
It's like choosing to believe in a world where things are secretly controlled, rather than accepting the possibility that sometimes things just happen, that the universe can throw us a curveball that we may never fully understand.
That's a great way to put it. And it highlights a crucial point, the importance of critical thinking, especially in an age where information and misinformation spreads like wildfire.
It's so easy to get swept up in the excitement of a mystery, to jump to conclusions, to embrace the most sensational explanation.
It is, but we have a responsibility to be discerning, to weigh the evidence, to ask tough questions, and to be willing to accept that sometimes the answer is, we don't know.
It's like being a detective. You have to follow the evidence wherever it leads, even if it takes you down some unexpected paths.
Exactly.
And sometimes the most important thing is to acknowledge the limits of what we know and to be open to new possibilities.
I think that's where the real value of the wow signal lies. It's not just about finding aliens or uncovering secret government plots. It's about the journey itself, the process of inquiry, the way it forces us to think critically and to expand our understanding of the universe and our place in it.
It's a reminder that there's still so much out there that we don't know, so much left to discover.
Absolutely.
And in the next part of our deep dive, we'll explore what might happen if we ever did receive a clear, undeniable message from an extraterrestrial civilization. Would we panic? Would we celebrate? Would we even be able to understand what they were trying to tell us?
Now that's a thought-provoking question.
So stay tuned. You know, it's really kind of mind-blowing. We've been talking about this signal, this blip on a radar screen for a while now. And it makes you wonder what would happen if we ever actually received a real message from an alien civilization? I mean, like a clear, undeniable message.
That's a question that's been debated for a long time. How would humanity react to knowing for sure that we're not alone?
Would we panic?
Maybe some people would. I think there'd be a lot of fear and uncertainty for sure.
Would we celebrate?
Oh, I'm sure some people would be thrilled. It would be a huge moment in human history. Confirmation that we're not alone in the universe.
And would we even be able to understand what they were trying to tell us?
That's a good question. It might be very difficult depending on how different their language and culture is from ours.
It'd be like trying to have a conversation with someone who speaks a completely different language.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
remember that scene in the movie Contact when Jodie Foster's character finally hears that message from space.
Oh, yeah.
It was such a powerful moment. This mix of awe and wonder and terror.
I think that scene really captures the complex emotions that would likely come with such a discovery. On the one hand, we have this deep desire to connect with other intelligent life. But at the same time, there's a natural fear of the unknown.
What if they're hostile?
Right.
Or what if they're so advanced that we can't even comprehend their motives?
It's like that old saying, be careful what you wish for. We might dream of finding aliens, but the reality could be much more challenging than we imagine.
Okay, but let's say for a minute that the wow signal was a message, and it was a peaceful one. What kind of information might an alien civilization want to share with us?
Well, that's pure speculation, of course, but it's fun to think about. Maybe they'd want to share their knowledge of science and technology.
Like help us solve some of the problems facing humanity.
Yeah, exactly. Or maybe they'd want to warn us about dangers we haven't even considered yet.
Or maybe it would be something as simple as a greeting. You know, a way of saying you're not alone.
That would be incredible.
It would change everything. Our understanding of ourselves, our place in the universe.
It would be a paradigm shift.
And it all stems from this one brief signal that we may never fully understand.
I know it's remarkable,
Right.
but I think that's part of the beauty of it. The wow signal is a reminder that there's still so much out there that we don't know so much left to discover.
It's a call to keep exploring, to keep asking questions, to never stop being curious about the universe and our place in it.
Well said.
So, as we wrap up our deep dive into the wow signal, I want to leave you with this thought. Even if we never definitively solve the mystery, the search itself has been invaluable.
I agree.
It's pushed us to develop new technologies, to refine our methods, and to expand our understanding of the cosmos. And who knows what other discoveries await us as we continue to listen to the whispers of the universe.
It's an exciting time to be alive.
It is. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the wow signal. We'd love to hear your thoughts on this enduring mystery. Do you think it was a message from an alien civilization? A natural phenomenon we haven't figured out yet? Or something else entirely? Share your theories and your sense of wonder with us in the comments below. Until next time, keep looking up and keep exploring.